Today is April 26, 2019, and I'm coming at you from the Near Earth Imaging Lab. Not a whole lot going on this week in terms of research, but I'm slowly making progress, working on a spatial analysis final project that includes a bit about the white-top bald, and so I'll talk about that a bit in a few slides. This week, I've been slowly but surely continuing to develop my graduate proposal into something substantive that I can submit to my committee or ask the committee to review before my first committee meeting, which we're aiming to have at sometime in May. I'm continuing to tie up loose ends on the academic side of things, all the TA duties, including grading and responding to emails and listening to students frantically squabble about their grades, all that fun stuff. And I'm working on a few assignments relating to my thesis. So I am presenting a poster for my biogeography final project where I've delineated the bald somewhat roughly just for the purposes of the project and the white-top mountain balds, and posted a before and after snippet of how the boundary of the bald has changed. Nothing statistically relevant or anything like that, but for another project I am trying to get something sort of statistically significant, or at least be able to run a statistical test. Whether or not that test is exactly accurate with the imagery, I've had some trouble with the georeferencing of some of the imagery, coordinate systems that have gotten lost on old stuff, but looks like I've been able to get it somewhat accurate. As for the white top flight, I was wondering, Dr. Pingle, if there'd be any time next week you'd be available. I'm available after 12 on Tuesday and Thursdays. I don't know. We'd have to check with our area operator if we did want to go up and fly, but it might be a good window before all the leaves are on the trees at that 5,000 some feet elevation. This week, I've been slowly but surely continuing to develop my graduate. And for slide 3, so like I said, I've had trouble getting the old imagery to align properly in ArcGIS Pro. Try to define the projection after looking up what the projection should have been, which was NAD 83. So then once it was converted to the NAD 83, it was still showing up in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so I was able to correct using the georeference tool and place it where it should have been. Had a little bit of trouble getting it exactly accurate, but I think we're pretty much there in terms of the imagery placement. So for this final project I'm doing for my analysis of spatial data class, I want to perform some sort of statistical test on how the boundary of the bald has changed over a certain amount of years. 30 plus years. This original image that I had that I thought was from 1950, it turns out on the image there's a timestamp 1976, so I'm not really sure how that was overlooked or mislabeled somewhere, but maybe we have 15 years less data than we should, which is okay, but we'll need to find some more imagery. So my thought was, and I'd like to hear some thoughts on this, if anyone has opinions or experience, I could run like a transect down the center of the bald, right, and keeping it constant in both images, and do a distance from certain points on that, the middle line of the transect. I guess it would be equal distance on both sides of the line for it technically to be a transect, but more just like a line with points on it, and the distance from the point to the edge of the forest would give us a value, which I could put in a spreadsheet and potentially run an ANOVA test or something similar. I have to make sure that's the proper test for that, but it seems to me that would work. So looking at this just for the purposes of this project, to be able to run something statistical, and of course maybe this would tie into my project, my thesis down the road. But so that's what I've been working on, and I think that's pretty much for me. I appreciate any feedback you might have or anything like that. So thanks a lot, y'all, and have a great weekend.